need that. This couch is so weird. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very excited for this episode of the pod. If you are watching on video, you can see we have an entire new setup.
We got a brand new setup.
The
thanks
sponsors have really been coming in.
Donations. What a great time it's been.
That really big donation came in, and we were able to buy this new couch, which is significantly nicer. We're still working out like the table details.
Yeah, exactly. I like this table. It's all natural. It's at our shoulder level.
It's kind of better. This couch is nice too because I can back that camera up. And we can put like 7 or 8 dudes on the couch.
We put a lot of dudes. We add that extra section. 9-10 guys on here.
Oh, yeah.
9-10 guys easy.
Yeah, we could fit the entire fire department and have them all mic'd up. And we'll just do the pod. By the way, I don't know if you know him or not, but it says that Bubs and Nate follow him. A fireman followed the Instagram.
Oh no! Wait, yes. Not. Oh no. Do we know him or no?
Well, it's like a bunch of people. By a bunch of people, yeah, it's like Nate and Bubs follow him.
Let's hear him. Let's
see followers. His picture's like a fire guy.
It's funny. Right before we started sitting down, I saw that video of the firefighters and they're like freaking their house or whatever, like warehouse, and it was like they had a bunch of strippers in there. And they were getting danced on
because there's already a pole.
yeah. True.
Did he unfollow us because he knew we were gonna talk shit? Maybe he followed us, watched a couple episodes, and was like, "Oh,
he's like, shoot."
Because
the last 2 we've kind of been on them.
We've been cracking down on the firemen.
We've been cracking down on them.
Oh, there he is. Danny. You know that guy?
Oh. I think I do.
Interesting.
I think I do.
Well.
Wait, maybe I don't. I don't know.
Well, I'm excited because I feel like we're getting closer and closer to the first fireman guest.
Oh, we for sure are.
He's got a lot to make up for. Whoever the first guy is.
Dude, I would like to have like not a wannabe fireman, but like a person that wants to be a fireman.
Yeah.
So we can talk them out of it. Actually, but our points would talk people into being a fireman. Because we say they have such a lax job.
Oh, yeah. We make it sound like a
they don't put out fires.
Job.
They eat all day. They get free food. They get praised. They're at like every parade ever.
Yeah.
They have a ski Centurion with a Traeger built in.
They do. And they're grilling and they're swimming and they're skiing.
and they're nowhere near when they want a fire, they just go out and light a fire.
They light a fire and then they destroy the house.
Yeah. I'm sure it's like a maintenance thing for those Pierce fire trucks that they need to be used occasionally. Yeah. So that they're like, oh, we need to use it so it doesn't break down interval. They go out and burn something down. They tried to take our local coffee shop away, but that was so funny, by the way.
What?
Our local coffee shop caught on fire.
Oh, yeah.
And they're located right next to a fire department.
Yeah.
A block away. Yeah. And they were not there at the fire department. They were out freaking grilling or wherever they were. They were probably out on the boat. And so the neighboring town had to come over and put out the fire.
No way.
Yep.
That is so... They must have been so bummed.
Yeah. Yeah. Or not.
A fire in their backyard.
They probably got the call and they're like, we're just getting into lunch.
Why don't you call the town over?
Yeah, we can't really...
We're on our third course. We've got 10 courses.
Yeah.
We're not even halfway done with lunch.
They're all at Ruth's Chris.
They've been eating lunch for 2 hours. They're like almost halfway.
Jonah's not even on his third tomahawk yet. we cannot answer that call.
Hey, nobody answer it. Nobody answer it.
He pulls up the call. Don't you answer that call. Don't you answer that call. He puts on silent, puts it down. Yeah, it says like emergency. It's flashing on it. Like fire, fire, fire.
Yeah, it's not real.
Yeah. Another cat in a tree. It was a weird weekend for me. And you, I feel like because we were in separate areas.
Yeah, we both were.
Doesn't happen
We
a
were
lot.
both at large. The house was empty.
The house was empty.
I tried to leave my motorcycle in the house because I knew no one would be home.
Yeah.
So I didn't think it would be that big of an issue. And I was like, yeah, maybe it'll smell like a little bit like gasoline. And I get it in the house, which was a lot of work, by the way. I pulled my bag.
So hilarious. The leakiest Honda XR ever.
The whole house smelled like gasoline like within 10 minutes. And then Bubs,
store it in.
the issue was I couldn't leave it there without Bubs noticing. She's like, she actually said, it was so funny. She was like, I could tell you were home because I can smell oil. And I wanted to like point at the bike so bad, but I didn't. I like kept it quiet.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I've been working on the bike today. And it's just stinking. And I'm taping.
Hey, Bubs, could you bring me a wrench?
I'm taping all the gas vent holes on the bike.
No,
and it's like not working.
No way.
It's like not working. It still smells like
why
gas.
What was the like reasoning to put it in the house?
Because I didn't want to leave it outside.
You could have used my little cover. I had my little cover there, right?
Your bike was under the cover.
Oh.
I left it over here in the shed in the chicken coop. I left it in the chicken coop.
You should get a cover.
I should.
That one was $20.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting a cover.
On Amazon.
It works pretty good.
It works great.
Well, yeah. Anyway,
it's good for the sun.
It was smelling so bad, and then I kind of used the excuse of she was like, "Are you sure you want to leave it in the house?" Like she's trying to be nice, but she really was trying to say, "Don't freaking leave the bike in the house."
Yeah,
because it's gonna stink when we get
she
back.
She was being nice about the bike.
She was being nice.
House.
She was being nice. I'll give her all the credit, and I kind of was like. Pretended I was being nice, and I was like, you know what? I'll move it out of the house. Like thinking like this is gonna be a problem if I leave it in here. It will smell like a garage.
You like conjured a situation where you could be the good guy.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
I'll move it out of the house.
I'll do it.
The car's in the living room. Tyler, I don't know if we should have your truck in the living room.
It's breaking the floor.
I think you're right. I'll move it. She said, "Aw, thank you."
Meanwhile, I just wanted to sit on the couch. It was in the way.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I thought it was a great plan. It was a funny picture, and then I moved it out. It was really hard to get in. I pulled my back trying to lift it up the stairs. But it got in there, and it fits really nice. It fits really nice. It looked huge in the house. It looked so big, and you've seen them.
That's why the houses have garages. You know?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
we don't have one.
Yeah, usually you can't fit a car inside a house. They usually make them proportional to like human beings, and not giant motorcycles.
Well, I'm gonna change the way we think about houses in the next little bit here.
You're gonna build your own house.
I'm gonna real estate some houses.
Every room's gonna be the size of a garage.
Mm-hmm. Every room's gonna be able to fit a Peterbilt in it.
It's gonna be concrete floors, 20-foot ceilings.
Yeah. All the doors are garage doors. Like when you want to get from the living room to your bedroom, you have to open a garage door.
The guest room's a paint booth. It's all vented.
Yeah. All the walls are garage doors too. So you press one button and it just goes brrr, like the whole house starts
making. Or you
making...
can do the emergency close, which
yeah, and all the latches come through.
You got the giant red button.
That would be cool. Can you imagine that having like a lockdown button on your house?
That
so cool.
Would be gnarly.
That'd be
and
so cool.
You build a moat.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you should build a moat big enough, and then it's like, it's got this double that you have to jump.
Oh, so you can only get in if you have skill.
If you have skill, yeah.
Like there's no actual bridge.
Yeah.
Any visitor has to be able to hit the double.
Or like a tabletop, and if it doesn't feel you scrub, the tabletop like just falls out into a lava pit.
It's like a false top tabletop. So you just, if you think that you can just ride over it, you fall through it.
You fall through, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, we were leaving, so I tried to put the bike away, but I was going to the beach to see Adam. You were going to old Illinois.
The Windy City. What a great time.
Yeah, and I had a regular time at the beach. It was just like, a beach visit. Nothing super crazy, but I am interested to hear a little bit of the story from...
Of my story?
Yeah, yours seems a lot more exciting.
And it was. But let me start out by saying I'm lucky to be alive right now. And this is it. This is pre-Windy City.
Okay.
on Thursday. I might have told you about this. I might have not. But I had a clean little exercise, lifted some huge weight, went outside, ran my miles, was doing my hybrid crap. Always ended off with a sauna. 20 minutes at 200 degrees. And then I went into the sauna. It was at the perfect temperature. There's this giant fat guy in there. And you walk in, you're like, wait, what up? And then I sit down, and I'm like, oh, this feels so good. Because when you first get in the sauna, it just feels so good.
Yeah.
Like your muscles just freaking like, your muscles just do that.
It's frothy.
Yeah. and then I sit down, and then all of a sudden I'm asleep.
What?
And this never
You fell asleep in the sauna?
Yeah. This has never happened before. I never fall asleep in the sauna because it's like it's on that uncomfortable side when it's that hot that you don't like. There's no time for sleeping. Usually at 20 minutes, I'm like I need to get out. At
How long do you sleep for?
I'm getting there. Anyway, this fat guy was in there probably 2 minutes before I saw him walk in, and so I knew he'd been in there not that much longer than I have. And I fell asleep somehow, and then I woke up, and he was still there, but he looked like he was dead. Like he looked like he was dying.
Yeah.
Like he was like kind of sprawled out, like just dripping sweat. And he's like, "Hey, buddy, do you know how long we've been in here for?" Dude, I look at my watch, 30 minutes. And I was like, "Oh, it's been 30 minutes." He's like, "All right, I was just making sure you're all right. Have a good one." And he left, and I was like, "Oh my god, dude! I 30 minutes is like getting dangerous. Like 20 minutes, 25 minutes for me at 200 degrees is like getting to a dangerous spot because you start to get dizzy and woozy, and you see like sparks in your eyes. And in 30, I woke up at 30 minutes, refreshed, not out of breath. I checked my heart rate; it was at like 100, which is pretty normal for the sauna. But usually at that mark, at 20 minutes, I'm at like 160.
Yeah.
Because it's just like pumping blood.
I like how you just go immediately into diagnostics.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, am I alive? Checking your watch.
Oh, yeah. I went straight
it says
to
I'm alive.
Yeah.
I lived.
My oxygen level is good. But I don't know what happened there, but 30 minutes. If he wasn't in there, I might have.
Think he like shuffled around and his body made noise?
I might have gotten
woke you up?
cooked. Because what really woke me up was him being like, because I was like kind of groggy waking up, and that's when he said, "Hey, buddy, how long have we been in here?"
Yeah.
And then I was like, "What?" I was like, "Holy refrigerator."
That's crazy.
So if no one was in there, I could have been in there for an hour or two.
Just slow cooking.
Just slow cooking and dying. But it was weird because it felt like great sleep. At 200 degrees.
That's weird.
And your body gets up to like temp. Yeah. After 5 minutes in there, you start really sweating. And I was soaked, and the wood was all soaked. But I don't know. I don't know what happened. But I got to look out for it.
Man.
And anyone who does sauna, just don't fall asleep.
Yeah, or set like a buzzer alarm on your watch.
Set
or
a buzzer.
something.
Yeah. I've been in the sauna hundreds of times now, and I try to do it like 4 days a week, and I've never even come close to falling asleep because it's hard. You don't fall asleep and stuff is like taxing.
We used to go in the sauna all the time when I was at NC State, and I never, ever did I even get sleepy.
You don't know. You never get sleepy. I don't understand it. But it was a long gym day, though. But I was thinking, I was like, dude, I'm never doing a max bench press and just like conk out.
No. No.
You're like, push.
That's insane.
Yeah, so I'm lucky to be here.
That's an NDE right there. That's a near-death experience.
Yeah. But it didn't feel like I felt refreshed when I got out. It was great. And I probably got all the benefits of the sauna.
Without having to suffer.
Had
like a nice little dream.
Great dream. So
it was like you
actually, maybe next time I'll just set an alarm.
And just go to sleep.
Yeah. Maybe I will.
Oh, you wake up it's the next day.
You're
all like crispy and shriveled up like in the SpongeBob movie.
Water. We made it to Shell City. Got the crown back. But yeah, my normal sauna position is usually just sitting up. But if there's no one in there, I'll just lay down on the top bench with my head against the wall. And it just feels fantastic. And, just got carried away, I guess.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's my NDE. And then we got a couple tickets to Chicago for a Cubs game, which was fantastic.
You and Nate?
Yeah, and Nate came to me with the proposal like a week before, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to go to Chicago on the 19th or whatever?" And I was like, "For what?" And he's like, "A Cubs game." And I was like, "Are you paying for it?" I was like, "I don't have money for that," because plane tickets like $300, and then we spent all on the couch and everything, and
yeah,
we're getting everything nice.
Yeah, we were so busy spending so much money on this couch,
so we didn't have any extra cash to just throw around. And he's like, I'll give you I'm on the Nate program right now. It's a 36-month 0 interest loan for $300.
Seriously? You took out a Nate loan?
A Nate loan. It's a great deal. Yeah. 36 months.
I'm gonna start financing. I'm gonna take a Nate loan out and buy something like really weird,
really big.
Just start paying him like the minimum.
I mean, the minimum you could pay $10 a month. I think 36 months. You could pay less than $10 a month. That's fantastic. And I'm on it. Zero interest.
I was thinking about subletting Nate's closet for someone who needs storage. And he's
How
like,
about someone who
what's
needs
all
clothes?
This shit? I'm like, I don't know. And I'm paying him the loan out of the guy subletting me. It's just a constant scam.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you think that would be a good
Yeah.
And the loan that I took out from him was the ad to sublet his closet. So it's like it's a feedback loop.
Yeah, you got the feedback loop going on. That's cash flow.
It just continues to grow and grow and grow, and then I just sell to him.
Then back to Nate.
Yeah, I sell the company.
Sorry, Nate. Times are changing.
So how was your trip to the Windy City then?
Oh, so
is it really that windy?
It was like, it was windy. I think it probably gets a lot windier during the winter.
Oh yeah.
But during the summer, it was windy, but not windy.
Also, by the way, in the winter in the city, if it's windy, that sucks. Yeah. So to call it the Windy City like it's a great thing is funny to me.
Well, yeah, it gets so windy. For everyone who doesn't know, everyone probably does know, but Lake Michigan is right next to it. So it's like
that lake effect.
It's wind. The whole city, and then this giant ocean-like lake that has freaking waves and crap. It's crazy. I don't know why it has waves. It just does.
Yeah, Lake Ontario has waves.
It's a lake,
and there's a beach area at Lake Ontario and you go there and you feel like you're at the beach, completely, and it's fresh water. It's the most bizarre experience.
It's the best of both worlds though, because salt water kind of sucks.
Yeah,
but the beach is awesome. And anyway, we got the tickets and we went to the airport, and oh dude, I just love every couple of years I fly. I just love flying. Or the takeoff.
The takeoff
is so cool because the captain's like, cleared for takeoff. I'm just like, oh, I get chills.
He's ready.
And then on the way there, I had the window seat, and I was just watching the freaking jet stream come out of the wing, and I was like, oh, you out of there. Yeah. And then I always contemplate life when we're leaving.
Yeah, you have to.
You're going up, and you're like, not that long ago, this wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
And so I was curious, and I looked up when we landed. I was like, what's the history of the commercial airlines? And so the start of the commercial airlines was in the 1920s, I guess, and it was only for the super rich. Yeah. It's the whole the submarine thing where just kind of sucks.
It was super dangerous. And only rich people could do it, and they were dying.
Dude, their planes in the 20s were these freaking. You could carry 2 passengers, and it was open. There was no windows.
What?
And so the pilots were just out in the wind, and the passengers were out in the wind, and there was no depress or pressurizing the cabin. Everyone was just and because they didn't depressurize the cabin, they had to stay super low, so it was super turbulent the whole time, and people were getting sick and just throwing up everywhere. And for the super rich, It was so unbelievably funny. And then in the what is it, the 40s, they came out with like multi-person like you could take like 15 people, and they had windows, but they still were like being weird about the deep or pressurized cabin thing, and so they were still all getting like super sick.
So it wasn't they didn't depressurize it.
No. Well, it
was like open to the pressure.
Yeah,
like atmospheric pressure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they had to also stay low. and then they had this the Ford engine was on it, not these like jet engines. It was that with the
rotary engine.
Yeah, the prop planes, and they were just so unbelievably loud that they came out with this megaphone to talk. so the stewardess could talk to the passengers. The megaphone was 120 decibels, which is unbelievably loud. I looked up. It's like 160 decibels. It's like perforating your eardrums, and you no longer can hear.
And so it's like just under that.
Yeah, you still get permanent hearing damage at 120. It's this dude at the front of the plane is just like, everybody do it, everybody hang on. Everybody's like throwing up and everything.
Everybody hang on.
Yeah. And it was just like so ridiculously stupid to fly commercially up until like World War II, basically. And that's when like everything kind of modernized, and they got like a couple of little computer components in there, and they were able to pressurize the cabin and everything. And then they got the jet. As soon as they built the jet engine, it like revolutionized everything.
It's so crazy. I mean, like I always look out at the wing, because I've been flying a decent bit for work lately, and you watch the wing on these like big 747s, and when it gets lift, the whole wing is kind of like drooped down, and then it goes to up.
Yeah.
Like the wing and it moves up like at the tip, it moves up like 15 feet. It's insane.
It's so crazy.
And then you get all the like the flaps and all this stuff come up, and it gives you more lift. It's crazy.
Exactly. But I just thought it's so unbelievable to me that within like our grandparents' lifetime, that it went from a dude in a super shaky plane that is like open, dude screaming in a megaphone with a giant
everywhere.
Ford prop plane, basically, to now it's just like it's so like cut and clean, just like you just get on, you take off, you land. And you're just at whatever 15,000 feet going like 500 miles an hour for no reason.
Just because you want to go watch a baseball game.
Just because a baseball game that you could do that right now.
Yeah.
Like imagine you talk to freaking Paul Revere. You're like, by the way, we're gonna be 15,000 feet in the air one day in a tube, just freaking 500 feet pressurized. The stewardess can bring you high noon. I don't know. You don't know what high noon is, but
you will.
It's a really good seltzer, vodka based.
Oh, people throw their lives away for it.
Oh, they do. It blows my mind. I'm getting like excited for this Cancun trip that we're taking in a couple weeks.
Oh,
it's just like, it's just a long flight, and for some reason, I just love flying.
I don't like when I can't see. If I got to sit up in the cockpit and I was just like hearing the captain and talking to him, I would love flying so much. But when I have no idea, like the captain could be shitting his pants. Like he could have been like, I mean, there's a chance I was on a flight before where the captain was like almost screwed something up and I didn't even know.
Yeah, you don't know.
And he almost shit his pants. Like he was sleeping.
Yeah.
He slept for 20 minutes and he's like, oh, like he wakes up. He's like, no.
That's why there are only two guys in there.
Yeah. It's just so weird. One time I got off a plane and I was reading Dale Carnegie on the plane, and so I get off and I'm like, hey, as I'm leaving, I look at the captain. I was like, that was a beautiful landing.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a cool thing to say.
You have a great face.
He looks at me like I just insulted him. And then I just like get off the plane. I'm like, well, I don't need to deal with TSA for telling him it was a beautiful landing. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, what?
I got nervous. I just left. But I was like, that was a beautiful landing, because it was. I didn't feel it. Like I couldn't tell when the wheels hit the ground.
Yeah.
And then you just feel the gravity slowly come in, and you're like, wow,
And
that's
then,
impressive.
when the wheels hit.
Yeah.
They're pretty intense. The first guy's landing was pretty intense. The second guy was a lot smoother.
I'm telling you, that guy that I complimented, it was like the best landing I've ever felt, and I thought he would like me saying that. I thought that would be like a nice thing to say to a pilot. Apparently not. Don't tell him that you liked his landing.
We got to look up the airline lingo.
Yeah, that was a great
Yeah.
squat, sir.
Yeah, you just go British.
Yeah.
Great landing, sir.
Excellent flooring.
You must have had your beans and toast this morning, because that was just great.
You can't do that without
Yeah.
protein.
Oh, the second flight was a little sketchy when we landed in Raleigh.
Yeah.
And I look out the window and the captain or the pilot's out there like checking stuff out. I was like, huh.
We were on a flight. Your dad was talking about being on a flight and seeing like red liquid just like dumping out of the plane, and he like got the stewardess and told him like, hey, there's red fluid dumping out of the plane. And
Dude, that's kerosene.
and then the captain, I think, came back, and then he was like, oh yeah, that's leftover something, that's normal, that's fine. Like it was like, and then your dad said he just kind of like was a little bit on edge the whole flight.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, it's supposed to pour red fluid out of the wing, that's normal. That happens.
That's weird because don't they use kerosene? That's jet fuel, right?
I guess
And
so.
kerosene's red.
Yeah. Yeah. He was like,
Holy frick.
he was like, what are you doing, cat?
At least they can glide those suckers though.
Yeah, they've got a couple options, couple maneuvers they can do. You know about what is it auto rotor on a helicopter? If you lose power, I think it's called auto rotor.
You gotta have a backup, especially on a freaking helicopter, where all you rely on is your prop or whatever. What is that called? Is it your prop?
On a helicopter,
Yeah.
it's the blades.
Your blades. Yeah, if that goes down.
Auto rotation. Okay, so this is what you do on a helicopter. It's crazy. So I've landed I've tried this on one of the like RC ones and it worked a little bit, but on the big ones it's supposed to be like a pretty good plan. The way that those blades work is you can move the pitch so they can go up, or so when you move them up, it pulls up, and you can actually go down a little bit so that you can, it would push the helicopter down basically. And so what you do is if you lose your engine, you flip that thing to down, and then as you start like hurtling towards the earth, it starts spinning the blades.
What?
And they start spinning faster and faster and faster as you fall faster and faster and faster. And then when you get close to the ground, you flip the collective pitch to up.
Yeah.
So they've been spinning up the whole time you've been falling, and that last little bit of rotational like inertia that they have pulls you up enough that you don't land hard. It's like the jumping on the elevator that falls.
Yeah.
But it works. You can see videos of people who they lose their engines, they flip that pitch down, and they wait and they wait and they wait, and then they just crank it up at the last minute.
That's freaking awesome, actually.
And
I
it
always
gives me
wondered,
chills thinking about it.
I always wondered what they did with helicopters when engines go down.
Yeah, I used to do the
information.
I used to do the RC helicopters, which is like you learn so much about how they work, and it's so stupid simple, but it's so cool. And you see one fly over, it's like,
So
and you're like,
fantastic.
wow.
They're so fantastic.
Especially those big military ones that fly over. You hear them making that like real low pitch noise,
Yeah.
and the noise is just them like cutting through the air.
Yeah, it's so cool. Yeah, there was a air show going on in Chicago when we got there, and dude, these like jet pilots are like going in between the buildings.
No way.
Yeah,
Like in GTA.
yeah, and you could see their when they would make like a real sharp turn, it'd be completely like horizontal to the ground. You could see their little slipstream coming off the end of their little wing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the coolest freaking thing. I can't even believe
There was that video of the Blue Angels. It was from one of the cockpits of one of the planes, and it was four of them flying in the tightest formation ever. Like if one messed up at all, at least two of them were going down.
Oh my god.
And they just locked in. Like they were just like waving at each other. They're so good at it.
Oh, I can't believe the aircraft. Dude, one little smidge from the wind, you'd feel like. But those things just cut through.
I want a plane so bad. I want to get a plane.
We need to get a jet. We're gonna rule the sky pretty soon. We're working on freaking the ground right now.
We've got a pretty good operation going on the land.
We've got a great operation. Well, I don't want to disclose the whole operation because
we can't.
I don't want. Yeah, we can't. But anyway, yeah, we got there and then we went to the baseball game. Oh, Wrigley Field, place is pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of history.
That's a really historical stadium.
Yeah, it's like over 100 years old, and since the air show was going on during the national anthem, the F-16s or the Thunderbirds flew over, and they flew so low, and it was so loud, and I got like just small. I just wanted to punch someone in the face, man. I just wanted to throw a baseball as hard as I could right at someone's head. Oh man, it just boosts my testosterone so much with that that rumble in the air that just it just freaking gets me. I mean, the Cubs won and they did this crazy song. They were like, "Go Cubs, go! Go Cubs, go!" And it was like, and I don't know. I'm a learning Cubs fan.
Yeah. So you don't know
and I was just dancing around. Yeah. I was like, yeah, go Cubs, go!
Just like your lips are moving, like trying to figure out what people are saying.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I went to a Braves Phillies game at the Braves Stadium before. That's the only MLB game I've ever been to.
They're really cool. They're just like a cool atmosphere. Even I wasn't paying 100% attention.
5 hours long.
Well, they changed the rules last season, so the pitch clock is so much shorter. So the pitch clock's 15 seconds now. From the time the pitcher gets the ball, to the time he has to throw it, it's 15 seconds. So the games are 2.5 to 3 hours now.
Okay.
So they're decent. But if you go to the game, you want them to be longer.
Yeah, because you paid for it.
Yeah. But I didn't, which was a crazy thing. We went there because Nate's aunt wanted to wish him a happy birthday and take him to the Cubs game or whatever. And she paid for everything. Literally. And she would get mad if she didn't pay for your stuff.
That's crazy.
So mad.
That's so nice.
So unbelievably nice. I just couldn't believe it. We went on the subway there. She paid for all that. Every drink we got at the game, she paid for with their $12 a pop.
Damn.
But I mean, she just paid. And then after we go to the Cubs game, she's like, "Okay, we're gonna go to GT Prime, which is some crazy steakhouse in downtown Chicago."
Yeah, you showed me the picture of the shrine to the chef.
The shrine. There's a shrine to this guy. His name is it's GT because his name is Giuseppe Tir something.
Yeah, tiramisu.
And Nate's aunt knew him or knows him.
Dang.
And they're really good buddies. And we got there and all the waiters are coming over and giving her hugs and stuff, and they're so happy for her to be there. I just couldn't believe it. I look at the menu and it says it's this beautiful menu, and then in the middle it just says "Happy Birthday, Nate."
No way.
Yeah. And they just did it just to do it because not my aunt, but Nate's aunt.
You've adopted her.
Yeah.
My aunt.
My kind of my
She's
aunt.
really nice. Huh?
Nate's aunt was just texted the GM of the place and was like, "Hey, by the way, we're coming by with a few people this date just for a little birthday get together." And she didn't say anything about customizing a menu or anything. Oh, and this place was dark. You walk in and it was like you're ready to go to bed in there. And it was
you just fall asleep everywhere.
Yeah.
Slept through your whole meal.
Yeah, I just knocked out. And there was fur on the bar and stuff.
Yeah.
It was weirdly, every waiter was in suits, really nice suits.
Yeah.
I've never been to a place like this, and I was just kind of doing the har thing with people because I was meeting all these people, and Nate's aunt's friend is the CEO of Walgreens or something.
Damn.
And I'm shaking this guy's hand. And he's trying to force feed me stuff, which was kind of interesting.
What? He was handing you food?
Yeah. He kept he was on the way other side of the table. He's like, "Gosh, Gus, you're not full, are you? And I was like, oh, I'm stuffed. And he's like, no, you're not. You better keep eating. and then you can't stop eating because it's $180 tomahawk steak.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, pass it down.
Yeah.
And it's just it was, I'm not even like joking. It was the best food I've ever had. Bar none. And then the dude asked me, like one of the guys we were with, because they know everyone too. He's like, "Do you like burgers?" And I was like, "Do I like burgers?" I was like, "I'm a burger guy." And he's like, guy. And he's like, "Well, we have the best burger." He's like, "GT Prime has the best burger I've ever had, and it's not even close." And he's from Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, like downtown, there's good food there. And so he ordered a couple burgers. Dude, I mean, my favorite burger is a 10, and this burger was like a 90.
Really?
It was the best burger, and I don't know why. I have no idea. I don't know one ingredient that was on it besides the fat, juicy Wagyu steak that was on it or whatever that was perfectly just freaking medium rare. It was just so unbelievably delicious. I can't even describe. I'll name I got a little list of all the food. So this is what the guy ordered for the table. He orders tomahawk steak, porterhouse steak, prime ribeye steak, and then veal parm, which is it's chicken parm but with veal. What the frick was that? Why was it so good? I don't know. Yeah. I have no idea. Beef tartare, which is just like ground beef that's raw.
I've had that. It's good.
So good.
It's weirdly good because you think it's going to be gross, and it's so good.
I dove right into that. Unbelievably good. The tortellini exploded in my mouth with flavor. I can't even believe it. That was a 10 out of 10. Scallops. What the frick? What? I don't understand how everything they brought out was a 10 out of 10. There wasn't one thing where I was like, this is meh.
Yeah.
There was a hash browns that they came with, like, they were like little hash browns they were cubed.
Yeah.
And they had like a little truffle on top and with this like little truffle sauce. Unbelievable. Then he orders 3 bottles of wine for the table. This red wine. Mm-hmm. Unfreaking believable. It was like $120 a bottle. Yeah. Just going down the list. And then, oh man, I had a couple ciders while I was there. Oh, those were so good. I don't even know what they were. And then she got this triple chocolate cake that I was so full. I was like, when I get full and I like start moaning and like writhing around in my seat and I'm like worming out. Yeah. I was doing that at this fancy restaurant in front of these people that I've never met before. And we were having such a good time and they obviously enjoyed what I was doing. And I was just like, every time they thought it was so funny. They thought I was joking. Yeah. When I was like so unbelievably full, like just spooning this crazy chocolate cake that they just like dripped freaking thing over, and I was like, and I was like in my seat all weird. I was like, and they were all just like laughing at me.
It's like the Shark Boy and Lava Girl when he dreams the
the
chocolate river.
It was just like that. Oh my god! And the steak knives. They brought over this how fancy this restaurant was. They brought over this box. And then they opened the box, and everyone got to choose their knife.
Oh, really? I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
And I chose this, like, it was like this, like, machete.
Yeah, you get the biggest one.
It was like a weighted, like, it looked like it's African machete.
Do you, like, balance it on your finger to make sure it's got the right balance point and everything? Yeah.
I'm like, this is a proper blade.
I was saying this weekend to my brother that if I was in Harry Potter, my wand would be a knife.
Yeah.
I think that'd be sick because then you could you could cut somebody with it and you could also
really
cast out of it.
Close range.
Yeah.
You'd be really close range.
Leviosa. So you get to choose your knife. That's kind of awesome.
The whole thing was like way too fancy for me.
How much? Do you know what the bill was at all?
It was in the when I got back to the hotel room.
Yeah.
Nate's girlfriend, me, and I were calculating the menu because Nate brought one of the menus back because it had his name on it and everything.
Yeah.
And we were calculating exactly what we got. It ended up being in like the thousands. Oh. And of course, Nate's aunt is just like throws her card
it's
at
not
it.
even that big of a deal.
It's not a big deal.
Man.
It's like I don't belong there.
No.
My taste buds belong there, but I don't belong there. And I felt like I didn't feel like I was faking it. But you know, you do that like hardy tar thing. We're like, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like laugh at like this guy's like stupid jokes. You're just like in the corner, like, you
can't help it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, you just can't. And I told them,
quite delightful.
Yeah, I told them before. I was like, I hate going to fancy restaurants because you just kind of have to fake being like uppity up, and then you end up doing it anyway.
Comes too naturally.
So what do you do for work?
It's like, I own Walgreens.
I was asking questions that I never would have asked, like just casually.
Yeah.
I'm just like, so how's your relationship with your husband been?
Yeah. Just too fancy.
This woman across the head.
Oh, I would not have done
like,
well.
And she's like, we have our issues, but at the end of the day, we love each other. And I'm like, that's all that matters at the end of the day. Like I'm just saying like some BS crap.
Just bullshitting with the rich.
That I meant in the morning. What? That I meant in the moment.
Yeah, in the morning.
In the morning. And then, you step outside and you're like, whoa. It was all like you're on drugs in there. Like as soon as you step in, you get that drug, and then you kind of get over yourself when you're out of there. But that like your surroundings like just morph you into this weird person.
Yeah.
But I think I was pretty normal.
You were centered.
I was centered, and I was
grounded.
I was asking the right things, and I was telling the right stories, and I said the right stuff. I said that.
Good.
I didn't embarrass myself, except for one time I was trying to take a picture of the place.
Yeah.
I was right at the end of the table, and my flash was on.
Oh.
And it was so dark in there,
Yeah.
and it just like
lit up
exploded
the
thing, and I was like,
sorry, guys.
I pointed it down,
Yeah.
and they were like, peasant.
He thinks this is interesting.
How could you take a picture in here?
This is irregular.
It is disgusting in here.
Why do you think it's so dark?
I mean, it's so fancy. Like there's a picture of like this black portrait on the wall of like a bowl, and then there's a squid in the bowl. Like just for no reason. It's like, what is the squid for?
Probably $1 million piece of art.
Yeah, exactly. And then you go up to the bathroom, this huge mural of the chef right there in the doorway. He's just looking. He's not even like in a chef like smiling. He's like frowning, and he's in a hoodie, a black hoodie.
Yeah.
He's like,
that's kind of cool.
yeah.
I mean, if I had a shrine in my restaurant, I would want it to be badass.
It was.
I would probably put on a full like traditional chef's uniform with like the crazy Italian hat, like the puffy white hat, and just be doing a wheelie. And like be looking at the camera, and that would be my shrine.
Yeah. Yeah, they said he like won Top Chef or something.
Really?
The show.
Yeah.
Something like that. I think Chicago's big for those shows.
Yeah.
Like the TV shows are filmed there a lot.
I'm from Chicago, and I can do a lot of cooking.
But all the like the uppity up people at the table just kept telling me stories about like the people that they know that I don't know. Yeah. And it was like I know this guy that does this and knows this guy, and I'm like, you don't really care, but you're like, wow, that's awesome. Like, I don't know who that is, and I'm glad that he has $50 billion. I'm glad that he invites you to places, and I'm like, that's awesome.
It is funny because like you want to be so rich. Everybody wants to be so rich, but it's like the activity. Like if you want to hang out with people who are so rich, you're hanging out with like. I mean, I'm sure there's people who are so rich that are fun to hang out with, but there's also that like sect of like just ha 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 ha.
I could see myself doing the ha 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 thing, honestly, because it was a lot of fun, and the food is so good that I didn't even like think of. I didn't even think. I was thinking about like what if I was sitting at the table with Trump?
Yeah. And he's like, this place is all right.
Yeah. This is great food. Great food. I've had better.
This food is good. I walked in the room. I said, this food is great.
Yeah. I was thinking about it. I was like, I could do that. I think so.
I walked to the bathroom. There was a big shrine. I said, wow, that's a huge shrine.
That suit fits you very well.
Whoa.
What was that?
Stuff is crashing behind the set.
It's crashing.
It's a new set.
It's a new set.
You gotta iron out the kinks.
Yeah, it's gravity messes with new sets.
But
yeah,
that sounds like a good time.
It was a great time. It was a great time. And then we woke up. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. And we had this really nice hotel too. And we just walked around because everybody left. And we went to the Lego store and I bought some Legos.
Nice.
Built those today. Finished that pack off. Man, they're so like meditating.
To build a Lego?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
I built 300 pieces of Legos today. And I had a great time doing it.
I feel like the Lego kids just turned into wanting to like build other stuff.
Yeah. And I'm turning into a Lego kid.
You're turning back in.
I'm
You're phasing back.
I'm going backward.
Reverting.
I'm going way backwards. But yeah, there's a lot of different like little things about the trip that would only mean stuff to me and to the people I was on, but those are like the main courses.
Yeah.
Chicago, and then we flew back. The TSA. I want to tell this to everyone, but
the
TSA on the way back, so funny. First of all, they yelled at me for having like my iPad in the freaking my suitcase or my backpack.
You're supposed to like take it out.
Yeah, they said
some places you have to take it out, some places you don't.
Yeah, that was bizarre. And so I didn't think so, and then so they yelled at me about it. And
in Raleigh, you had to?
No, in
Raleigh
Chicago.
You don't. Yeah.
No, Raleigh's fine. And then that was good, and then I went into like the scanner thing, and I had my watch on and everything, so it was cool. And then I walked out, and I was going to get my stuff. You know, you walk out, and it blinks, whatever, and you go get your stuff. And then he's like this giant black guy. He's like, "Sir, wait!" I was like, "All right." He's like, "Come back here." I was like, "What's the matter?" He's like, "Do you have anything in your groin region?" I was like.
Not that I want to tell you about, sir.
Yeah, I got something there, but I was like, nothing metal or anything. He's like, "You got any implants down there?" I was like, no. And then he whips around the monitor, the X-ray monitor, and there's this huge red block right on my crotch. I was like, that's about right. That's about right.
That's the funniest thing ever.
It was like an X-ray of me. The outline, you could see like my freaking skull and stuff and everything, and then this giant red blob.
You should have gotten a picture of that.
I should have.
Post it to your Tinder account.
Giant red blob right on the crotch.
Can't go through metal detectors. Not sure why. Come find out.
You turned it around. Everyone in line was like, "Oh, that's weird." Like everyone could see it. Yeah. And he's like, "Do you give me consent to pat you down right now?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And he's like, "Do you want to go in the private room or do you want to stay here?" And I was like, "Dude, I will stay here. I don't want you giant guy taking me in the back room." And then all of a sudden they're interrogating me and crap. So he patted me down and like. He felt so weird about it. Everyone was like staring at me and him, and I was like, fine. I was like, whatever. And then you're good to go. I was like, pfft. Everyone winked at me.
Nice. That's such an awesome TSA moment.
The giant white blob, red blob. I mean, what if it was just in the shape of it? Just a giant red penis. Sir, what is that?
It's just the balls.
Yeah. May I grope you, sir?
May I touch it?
Yeah.
I like how he scans you. Your crotch sets off the sensor, and he's like, "Unfortunately, I'm going to have to touch it before you can pass."
He looked so embarrassed about it, and he even said, he's like, "If you'd prefer to go to the back room, then I'm totally cool with that." I'm like, no, dude, do it in front of everyone.
Yeah.
And he did.
Oh, I saw that happen when the last time I flew. This kid behind me, he had jeans on, I guess, so maybe jeans are first of all, flying in jeans kind of a crazy move. Like I will do anything in jeans. I'd even sleep in jeans if I had to. Flying in jeans, I probably wouldn't do that. And so they're like grabbing on his crotch and stuff, and they just keep grabbing his crotch. And then his mom's like all upset. And then we get to the, there's like the little benches where you get to like put all your shit back on after they just strip searched everybody. And I'm like, man, I'm telling them, because she's all like, why did he have to check you? Why did he have to check your pants? And I'm like, man, I hate going through security. And they're like, yeah, why did they check his pants?
He's got these nice freaking Levi's on. And the TSA guy can't like get. He's like, push harder.
You gotta feel this.
Yeah, I can't get in there.
Gotta make sure you got your crotch in there.
Yeah, you can't penetrate jeans. A nice pair of jeans. You can't search anyone in there.
No, you can't. That's probably why he wore them. He's like, I don't want anybody searching my crotch. It backfired on him. Simple as that.
Yeah, I don't know what I do next time. Do I actually put something in there?
Yeah, you might be able to get away with it. They've got you on a list now of like magneto crotch.
I'm on a no-fly list. I put 122 in the urethra.
Just one bullet. Can't even use it. Just hurts.
Well, I build this little like tube. This little firing pin. I just hold it.
You get one of those like inflatables, and you just squeeze it really hard, and it hits it with the firing pin.
Yeah.
Explodes your crotch.
That's what I'm talking about. So I'm the giant red blob guy.
Giant red blob. The GRB.
All right, ladies, call in now.
I gotta say, we've talked about, kind of to pivot a little bit here. We've talked about running a decent bit on the podcast in the past.
Yeah, we're big
and
runners.
my journey that's kind of just been riddled with injury and
it's up and down.
Yeah, it's up and down. That's a great way to put it.
It's always gonna be an uphill battle.
There's a lot of weird noises.
Yeah, I think that there was a big bug.
Yeah, so I took a little bit off of running because I had rolled my ankle playing volleyball.
Yeah. Yep.
And this is at this point. This is a couple weeks ago.
In our yard, by the way.
In the yard, yeah. I rolled my ankle playing volleyball. It was really like it was hurting to like roll it. It's fine now, but I was like turning it and it would hurt. So I ended up taking like 2 weeks off because I had just finished dealing with the knee thing. And I was like, I just wanted to let this heal and not have to try and run through it because it was so much work getting the knee thing to be fine. And eventually I have this dream, right? This is where I kind of want to get into the dream thing a little bit. Mm. In this dream, I'm just running. I'm running so fast. And this is after I haven't run for 2 weeks. I'm just running in my dream. I'm like running so fast, there's like a retaining wall coming up. I jump and rotate 90 degrees and like run on the wall. I'm so fast. I can't even stop myself if I wanted to. I'm just so fast. And I wake up the next morning and I know, like as soon as I wake up, I'm like, I have to run today. For some reason, I'm just like, I need to run today. This is the end of this break. I'm running today. And then I do go run and there's like smoke in the air. So I'm like looking around trying to find the smoke while I'm in the middle of my run. And I'm like looking all around. So I'm kind of like not looking at the ground. And I hit this pine cone. It was a big pine cone. Completely rolled the same ankle. Which I was so mad. I started running like faster and I was like enjoying the pain just because I was so angry. I was like, there's no way I just rolled the ankle.
Rogue pine cone.
And then I was just like, I'm not stopping again. I'm not taking another injury break. I'm just running through everything. I'm done. I'm done taking these stupid breaks and then just hitting a pine cone. Like the
T-boned a pine cone.
The inside of my foot hits the pine cone. And my ankle crumples under the pressure. Like it's
the boots.
I guess it was so stupid. And like all my weight comes down completely on the side of my foot, and my ankle it torques my ankle.
You gotta wear less boots. They're too supported all the time. They're weak.
Yeah, I guess so. I gotta just start wearing just the sneakers, I guess. All right, but here's the thing, right? I keep having running dreams every couple days.
Okay.
And every time I have a running dream, I feel when I wake up like I have to run. Like one time I was just at my grandparents going to get something for them, and I was like running around, and I was actually huffing and puffing in this dream a little bit. Like it felt like I was actually running. I woke up and I had to run. And like I don't really associate dreams that much with what's really going on in life, but man, I just like if I have the running dream, yeah,
the running dream.
The running dream keeps happening. I keep running in the
so
dream.
Funny.
I wake
What
up,
if
I have to
what if
run.
the running dream just means something totally different?
Yeah.
And then you're like, I have to run.
Well,
and your subconscious is like, no, that's not what I meant.
I've been trying to tell you something. It's not this.
How else could I tell you?
I keep just going and like rolling my ankle. It's like, no, I'm trying to tell you to stop.
To chase your dreams.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I looked it up, and it means one of two things, according to Google. Either you are running away from something, like you're scared of something, or you're trying to you're trying to get to something. And I'm not scared of anything, dude. I'm not scared of anything.
I'm scared of nothing.
So I'm like,
this dream,
and I'm never
scared of nothing.
I'm never actually running away from anything in the dream. I'm always only focused on like wherever I'm going. So I feel like I'm just chasing my dreams and trying to get that bag, and I'm trying to exercise. So it all kind of plays together. I had an NDE today though on the way to run. I ran today. No dream today.
NDE on the way?
Yeah, I didn't have a dream today, but I felt like I should run because it's a Monday and I'm trying to I have a lot to do this week. So I'm trying to stay active so that my brain can keep focusing on all the stuff I have to do.
Yeah. And
I'm riding my little dirt bike thing to the park, and I'm on Hilltop Needmore Road, which it doesn't matter the name of it, but what matters is that it's a very narrow road.
Narrow, yeah.
So like you'll have like a dually pulling a trailer that kind of encroaches in your lane, and on the bike that really doesn't matter. You're always kind of a little bit weirded out when someone's crossing into your lane.
Yeah.
And so I'm somebody kind of does that to me a little bit. And I'm always just watching anyway. And on the dirt bike, I can kind of just go off the road if I have to.
Yeah.
And I might wipe out, but I'll wipe out on grass, which is way better.
Yeah.
And I'm going around this turn, and then I see this older dually truck kind of come around the turn. He's going fast, and so I'm coming kind of towards him. We're a decent distance from him still. And he drops off his right side of the road a little bit.
Oh no!
And I can see it happen. Like time goes slow motion as soon as he does that because he overcorrects.
Yeah.
And he jerks his wheel back onto the road, and then I'm like, this truck, there's no way it handles well.
Yeah.
And I've had this happen before to me while I was in my truck and thought I was gonna die from a Mustang.
Yeah.
So this happens, and I'm like, time's slowing down. My brain's calculating like all the different paths I might have to take depending on where he ends up coming. And luckily he like regains control of the truck. But I'm telling you, the amount of adrenaline that released, you know, when the adrenaline goes away and then you're just left with like,
whoa,
like your blood pressure starts to drop and you almost feel like you're about to pass out.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I was going to pass out. I felt like pain. It was so much adrenaline. It was like pain. And I felt like I had just looked death in the eye. And the guy regained control. You know, I don't know what his mind was, but I just saw that truck shift in a way it just wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
And then I saw him overcorrect, and his trajectory was me.
Jeez.
And he was going fast. And I mean, I was going the speed limit pretty much. I wasn't doing anything crazy.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of, I had opportunity to move, and I was about to. I was getting out of the lane, getting ready to like get into the ditch, and then he regained the control of the truck. But that is the scariest. It probably wasn't the most dangerous situation I've been in.
Yeah.
But it was by far the scariest. Just watching that like probably 6,000 pounds of steel.
Yeah.
Just coming towards me. I was.
That is an NDE.
And then I ran so fast. When I got to the park, I ran so fast. I was running from something then. was running from the adrenaline. Holy crap.
Oh my god.
So that was not fun. But yeah, I kind of wanted to get into the dreams and then the NDE.
Dream to the NDE. Wow. Yeah, that I just haven't I haven't had a situation like that yet on the bike.
I mean, I feel like if you could have seen that, like a bunch of camera shots of that situation, maybe it wouldn't have seemed as scary as it felt. Because my brain is constantly, and I mean, we've talked about this before. When you're on a bike, you're constantly trying to plan for the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
And my brain was locked into the worst case scenario, and it was this truck is coming into my lane at me at 50 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And I have very little time to do something if I'm going to. So I was getting ready to, and I was like, he swerves back into his lane, and I'm just like, I'm shaking my head at him. Like, how can you do that?
Yeah.
To me, that.
How could you do that? Yeah.
I was my heart's beating so fast. I don't understand how the adrenaline response happens so fast.
It's immediate. Well, it's the mechanism to save your life.
Yeah.
And it has to be immediate.
But it's crazy that something so complex can happen. You watch a truck move in a way that how does something that foreign to being a human? Driving a car is kind of foreign, even though we do it every day. It's kind of foreign, but my brain somehow, that my adrenaline response is linked to some system that understands that truck could kill me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a crazy system.
I think it's because it's got to be a predator system. We understand the truck as a potential predator. I don't understand how we can have it work. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get how my heart rate spikes up. I'm my pupils probably dilated. I'm just watching the truck. I can see 10 lines. It's I see 10 potential lines coming out of the truck where it's going to go. Not that graphically,
yeah.
but I'm thinking about it all. It's happening so fast, but I can think about all this because my freaking heart is pumping and my brain is just being fed with everything it needs to try and plan out of that. It was just it was kind of cool afterwards once I got my breathing under control again, but yeah, that was a little
I'm sure
sketchy.
there's an answer out there that we just don't know. I'm sure there's a scientific answer to it, or a biological answer to that question that we just we don't know.
We just don't know.
We just don't know.
We just don't know.
We don't know really that much, actually.
No, we're kind of confused. We're kind of confused, walking around in this world confused.
I know. I wake up confused sometimes.
In the sauna.
Yeah. I fall asleep in the sauna.
Yeah, what's the deal with that?
What's the deal?
And we got... Oh, I got a story to tell, actually.
Oh.
So yesterday, Will texted me. He's like, hey, my parts came in for my car. You want to help me work on it? I'm like, yeah, sure. And I say, come over to my parents' house. My parents' house is 10 minutes from here.
Yeah.
And I go over there, and I bought a 12-pack of beer. So in my mind, I was either going to ride home, have him bring me home, and come get my bike with the truck in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Or ideally, what I was going to do is have Ray come get me again. Because I was like, that'll probably work. So I texted Bubs earlier in the night. I was like, hey, I was basically telling her that was a potential plan, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, okay, yeah, whatever you need. And then it's 8:30, and I text Bubs, and I'm like, hey, do you think you guys could come pick me up? And she's like, I'm in bed, and Ray's at work. and I'm just like, oh, shit. And so I'm like, and I was thinking, I was like, how many beers have I had? So I start cruising around in the woods on my dirt bike, trying to figure out where I'm at. And yeah, I'm ripping in the woods, but I knew that there was no way that I could justify hopping on the roads.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. I didn't even know how many beers I had. So I was just she had called me and she's like, hey, you didn't text me back. earlier, and I didn't really know that this was supposed to be a plan, and I didn't even know Ray was going to work. I was like, well, don't worry about it. I'll just stay here. Like, I can sleep in a bed. I'll be fine. I'll just come back in the morning. And she's all like, oh, well, whatever. Call Ray. So I call Ray, and she doesn't answer. And then I'm like, all right. So I go back over to my 12-pack of beer. I like shotgun a beer. Because I'm like, well, now I'm just having fun in the woods by myself on a motorcycle. And I got my AirPods in, and I'm just like cruising in the woods. It's really dark, and I'm just kind of getting dialed in. And then my AirPods start ringing. It's like my music goes off, and Ray just comes on my headphones. She's like, I heard what you did. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what do you mean what I did? I'm like, I'm just riding my motorcycle. She's like, I heard you got too drunk and you can't drive home. I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, you don't have to worry about it. And she's like, we're coming to get you.
Oh my God.
And then they show up in Bub's car. I'm like, where's the truck? Because I wanted to load my bike up and bring it home. They're like, we're not bringing the truck. We're coming to get you. And I'm like, okay. So I just hop in the car. I'm happy. I'm like dumb and happy. And then Ray brings me to cookout. It was like a great night.
Oh, Ray told me about your cookout thing.
The thing is, I just wanted a hot dog. Like, all I wanted was a hot dog.
Disgusting.
So I get a hot dog tray with a bunch of sides, and I just eat my hot dog, and I shove the rest in the refrigerator, and I eat it today.
The leftover cookout.
It wasn't great.
No, it's never
It was
great.
It was leftover. It wasn't great. But it was a great night, and I think that...
It's a weird night.
It was so fun, though. And I would have asked Will for a ride home because he left. And then pretty much right after he left, I was like, hey, by the way, like, can I get that ride home? And they were like, what?
What'd you say?
We're sleeping. It's like, I'm like, it's 8:30 on a Sunday. Like, it's not that late.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't think it was going to be a problem. And I'm like, and if it is, don't worry about it. Yeah. I don't care. Like, I'll just stay here. They were like, no, we're coming to get you. And they're all pissed, and they showed up. They weren't that pissed because I did a sick jump right in front of them, and I think they were just impressed.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
I don't know what it was, but they weren't that mad when they showed up.
A sick jump?
I did a really good jump right when they were pulling up. Like they just are pulling up, and I live, a quarter mile into the woods. It's like real dark, and you just hear like, brump, brump, coming from the woods. That's me on my motorcycle. And then I just come flying out of the woods and hit the jump. And then I land like right behind them as they had turned, and then I just am gone again. And I come flying through the woods from the other side. At least that's how it felt. And because I'm so psyched about this new bike, I finally got it to where it's like kind of working. It's still leaking some oil, which that doesn't even matter because I can put so much more oil in. But
you could put infinite
the
oil
ridiculous
in
thing, I mean, this is kind of another pivot on the bike thing, is that these bikes that we just got, everyone talks so much trash about them.
What?
Yeah, they do.
What do you mean?
We were talking trash about them like a month ago before we got them. We were like, hey, or 2-3 months ago. We were like, we don't want that. We want one of the like they're gonna be slow and boring, and they're not gonna be fast, and they're gonna all this nonsense, and we got to get the big bikes.
Yeah,
and
we did.
And as soon as I got one, I was like, these people are all wrong.
They're all wrong. Yeah, they're actually very much fun.
It's fast. It's plenty fast to do. You could ride the highway on it all day long.
Yeah,
it can go anywhere. It only weighs like 100 pounds more than a dirt bike. It's the sickest bike ever.
It's a really
I'm having
cool bike.
so much fun on mine. I can't even believe it.
Yeah. Besides
when I almost got hit by that truck, but man, people just like to talk crap on the internet.
That is it's super bizarre because I'm having I think the most fun I've ever had on a motorcycle is on this KLR. Yeah. Just like gooning around everywhere.
Yeah. And it's a cheap bike too. You drop it, you're not mad.
Yeah.
Like these other bikes that everyone's trying to sell you on, it's all these rich people who don't know how to ride.
It's like the highway tour people. Yeah. It's gotta be.
They're like, you have to spend $20,000 on an off-road bike. And I'm like, man, I do. I believe them.
Yeah.
I'm like, they must be right.
Yeah.
They're like, those old bikes are so slow and stupid. And I'm like, yeah, they are. I've never ridden one. Yeah, they are. Eventually, I get one because I'm poor. That's all I can get.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's so fun.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun. You can go anywhere.
Man,
And it's easy to go anywhere.
it's so easy. I crash a lot.
You crash a lot.
I crashed twice. My bruise is still there.
I'm trying to
all
avoid the
green.
crash because of the paint, but
The paint,
Yeah,
you
I'm
got
trying
your,
to avoid
you
the
painted
crash,
your
but-
bike up, but this crash today was just so goofy because I didn't have any gear on at all. I wasn't going that fast, and I just hit this. It's like moldy wood, and the bike just goes out from under me, and you like think you can put your foot down like it's a dirt bike, and then it just weighs so much, and it's
Yeah.
also so tall. So it's just like you're riding, and then you're just on the ground next to the bike so fast. And you're like, what? I think I said that. I was like, what? I was like, I'm on the ground? Seriously? And the bike's still running. I just pick it up, still running. I just ride away. It doesn't stall. What's going on? How come I didn't know about these? How come this is new to
I
me?
don't understand them.
Can't believe it. I've seen one. I sat on one when I was so young, an XR650. Same bike I have right now. I sat on one when I was little. I was like, wow, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's all I knew about it.
They're really big. They're
Huge.
They're big bikes. But they're just light enough where you can do anything on them. They're just powerful enough where you can go anywhere. Yeah, you can ride. I could ride the highway all day.
Yeah.
All day long. Golly. People on the internet. If you.
Yeah. You know, Adam's got like a little mic set up.
Yeah,
in his room, and he's like,
he's ready.
call in, I'll record my audio. He's like, and then you just splice the audio in. So we're gonna have some calls with Adam.
Yeah, we're gonna have some
coming
calls
up
with
here.
him. Yep.
He's got his whole. I want to get him. I've got a webcam somewhere around here. Might be in
A
here.
webcam? Oh, we're gonna
I had
webcam
one.
him in.
I'll give him a webcam. Well, I'll just have him record it separately, and then we'll be able to see him. I'll splice it in.
Oh my god.
Man, that would be fun.
Oh, and I'm tired. Clap it out.
Okay.
Go Cubs, go! Go Cubs, go! Everybody wants to see the Cubs win. Say, go Cubs, go!
Go Cubs, go.